No, you have that, and so you have the Democrats, you have the media, their partners, then you have the deep state. We're getting rid of a lot of them. I'll tell you, we're finding them left and right. Boom. You take a look at what, I'll tell you what, you take a look at what we're doing with all of the things. I'm not going to get into detail, but you know what I'm talking about. Clean the swamp. That's the ultimate cleaning of the swamp. And then I hate to say this, but we have some Republicans, they're not good. You call them a rhino, they're rhinos. The rhinos are worse. And some of them are worse than the Obama people, right? They're worse than the Obama people. They're worse than the Clinton people. But there aren't too many of them left. They're pretty much on respirators. They're gasping. They're gasping for air.
Hello and welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It is the 17th of September, and on today's podcast, we'll be covering three great articles. The first one coming at us from Paul Joseph Watson, who I highly respect, says here from Summit News, China warns Trump not to believe Warhawk in, quote, conspiracy theories that Iran was behind the attack on Saudi Arabia. Guys, I don't know who to trust at this point. Do we trust China? Do we trust Saudi Arabia? I don't want links to any of these countries, in all honesty. I think that we need to be the powerhouse. I think that we are the ones who should be exporting all the goods, all the oil, all the natural gases, so on and so forth. I do not want to be the watchdog for these countries any longer. I don't want us to be led around by these countries. I want us to be the leaders of the free world. And I believe a lot of this is optics, guys. I really believe that the NSA has all the information, that Trump knows all, and what we are receiving on our end through information is optics. Correct? That's what I believe. Also, coming at us from the Epic Times, it says here, White House calls for an investigation, get this, of an abortion doctor who had over 2,000 fetal remains. How many of these videos have I done? How many doctors have been caught doing this? Why is Planned Parenthood across the street from so many doctors' hospitals? This is insane, guys, and I will continue to report on it because they are exposing these evil, evil people of what they do, on how they make money. They are creeps. Let me make that clear, guys. These people are horrible human beings if they are humans to begin with. And finally, guys, it says here, Trump says Obama's Netflix deal should be investigated. And not only this should be investigated, but so much more of what this man does. The $108 billion that was sent in straight cash over to Iran, our adversary, our enemy. Why was that handled? Why was that taken care of? So I believe that Anon should definitely be digging into this Netflix deal that they've received. Boycott Netflix, please, for the love of God, boycott Netflix. They are the enemy. All it is liberal propaganda. That's all it is. Guys, before we get into today's podcast, we got a good one for you today. Would you please welcome my sponsor, Noble Gold. Hi friends, Thomas from True Reporting here. I wanted to tell you about my sponsor, Noble Gold, and what their plans are for the month of September. For this month, they are giving away a 25% discount on their most popular combo package, the 10-ounce silver bullion bar and the Trump 2020 coin. You can pick up both of these items together with a 25% discount when you go to TrumpCoin2020.com and type in the promo code TRUreporting25 to do it today and pick up an amazing gift. Thanks, guys, and enjoy the podcast. All right, guys, it's good to have you aboard. Before we get into today's podcast, would you please go ahead and click the notification bell, and also please click the like button. The more likes that this video receives, the more times it is recommended to other viewers, thus more eyes on the truth, and this is the best way to combat censorship. So, from Paul Joseph Watson, who I restated earlier, said that I highly respect. China warns Trump not to believe war hawk conspiracy theories, that Iran was behind the attack on Saudi Arabia. What if Saudi Arabia attacked Saudi Arabia? What about that one, right? What if they're just doing FFs out there? China has warned President Trump that he is being manipulated by war hawks into believing conspiracy theories, that Tehran was behind the attack on Saudi oil facilities, and that any revenge attack on Iran could cause the Middle East to spiral out of control. The warning was contained in an editorial posted by the Global Times, which is widely recognized as a Communist Party mouthpiece. A drone strike against two Saudi oil facilities by Houthi rebels on Saturday took out 5% of the world's oil supply. But U.S. Secretary of State Michael Pompeo, Trust Kansas, immediately blamed Tehran for the attack. In the Global Times piece, Beijing asserts that there is no evidence Iran was responsible and that U.S. military revenge against Iran will lead the Middle East to spiral out of control. The article also blames the Trump administration for being the, in quote, least interested in easing the disputes in the Middle East because we're not their babysitter. Can we get that out there? Can we make this set in stone? We're not their babysitter anymore. We are in global control, not them any longer. It says here also that out of all previous administrations and hyping conspiracy theories, that has got to be the word for the 2010s. Conspiracy theories, right? That the attack was carried out by the aid of Iran. Despite John Bolton's departure, the warmonger, Trump is still being surrounded by hawks that control U.S. military might and are eager to flex their muscles. Warns the piece, adding that despite Trump's being largely against foreign interventionism, certain forces in the U.S. are pushing Washington to use military power. If we do anything, guys, it would be a drone strike. No boots on the ground. I cannot reiterate that enough. The editorial says Trump has forgotten the lessons of the two wars waged by George Bush's administration, which ended in abject failure. I believe and I know that we will never go to war under this administration, so don't let this fear-mongering push us into that. All right, guys, another one of these stories breaks the seal. White House calls for investigation of abortion doctor who had over 2,000 fetal remains. This actually came out this morning. The White House and Republican officials call for the probe into Dr. Ulrich Klofer, an abortion doctor who had over 2,000 fetal remains at his house. Why were they at his house? Because he's selling them. He's selling them for money. That's why he's doing it, guys. Klofer died on September 3rd, and the remains were discovered by his family as they went through his belongings. Klofer performed abortions in Indiana, but lived in Illinois. That state is highly, highly corrupt. The horrific discovery of 2,246 fetal remains in abortionist Dr. Klofer's Illinois home is appalling and should shock the conscience of every American. While I was governor of Indiana, we took his medical license away and passed a law requiring fetal remains be treated with dignity, Vice President Mike Pence said in a statement. I trust Pence about 80% of the time. We'll say that. His actions should be fully and thoroughly investigated. The remains of the unborn must be treated with dignity and respect, and this abortionist offenders should be ashamed. We will always stand for the unborn. It says here, this is the Mike Pence's tweet. The horrific discovery of 2,246 fetal remains in abortionist Dr. Klofer's Illinois home is appalling and should shock the conscience of every American. What I just read, absolutely disturbing. White House Deputy Communications Director Judd Deere told Real Clear Politics that the administration wants a federal investigation in part to see if others were involved in keeping the fetal remains. Murdering thousands of innocent babies is one thing, but preserving and hoarding their bodies like trophies is a new level of sickness. Preserving and hoarding their bodies like trophies, these trophies, in quote, pay out big time. This is what he was doing. The radical left now defends late-term abortion, including infanticide, while President Trump protects our most innocent and vulnerable and defends the dignity of life. A full investigation is needed to determine whether crimes were committed and if anyone else was involved. Of course they were involved. Representative Jackie Walorski said in a statement, "I'm glad the White House has echoed my call for federal investigation into the horrific discovery of more than 2,000 fetal remains at the property of Indiana abortion doctor Ulrich Klofer." Walorski first called for an investigation on September 14th, which was 3 days ago, writing on Twitter, "State and federal authorities should conduct a full investigation into this case and take any steps necessary to protect Hoosiers, including the unborn, from the unsafe practitioners." Who knows how many people are tied to this guy, this Klofer guy. Obviously, he is an evil, evil individual. She said Klofer's careless treatment of human remains is an outrage, adding, "Every human life is precious, and every woman and baby deserves care and respect. This tragic case shows why abortion providers must be held to strict guidelines and face rigorous oversight." Representative Jim Banks also called for a probe into the situation, saying that because Klofer took the remains across state lines, a federal investigation is appropriate. So this guy's driving around with fetal parts in his car. What is wrong with people, guys? Why are people so greedy for money, if they're even people at that point? We need to determine how Dr. Klofer was able to get away with this for so long. Because obviously he probably had been blackmailed. He was just handled right, correct? We all know about it, and now that Klofer is deceased, we all need to know how many people working at that women's pavilion were aware of Dr. Klofer's crimes. Banks said in a statement, "I guarantee you the CEO knew, all the higher-ups knew about this, and they were all getting cash backs." That's what they were getting. I also hope if we learn any of those same staff now work at the Whole Women's Health Clinic in South Bend and how closely those two organizations are tied. Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb, a Republican, also said he supports a federal probe into Klofer's businesses. A lot of people want to probe this guy right into this business, even though after he's dead. I hope this brings to light a lot of bad people out there. And finally, guys, Trump says Obama's Netflix deal should be investigated. Absolutely. President Donald Trump on Monday lashed out at House Judiciary Committee's repeated efforts into investigate him and suggested that they instead look into former President Barack Obama's and former First Lady Michael Obama's Netflix deal. Trump began by laminating the fact that the committee had wasted millions of dollars in 2 years' worth of resources, only to find nothing actionable in the Russia collusion hoax. He then hopefully pointed them in the direction of the Obama Netflix and book mega deals, which I have covered many a time on this podcast, as well as the congressional slush fund used to pay off victims of sexual harassment. Yeah, this is just happening right now with the Epstein case, that these people, that his victims will not get a cent. They will not get a cent from Epstein after what has occurred to them. Their lives are ruined. They will not get a penny. House Judiciary has given up the Mueller report, sadly for them, after 2 years and $40 million spent. Trump seethed on Twitter, adding that after coming up empty-handed, they've pivoted to investigating all of the deals he has done over his lifetime. I have a better idea, the president said. Look at the Obama book deal or the ridiculous Netflix deal. Then look at all the deals made by the Dems in Congress, the Congressional Slush Fund, and lastly, the IG reports. Take a look at them. Those investigations would be over fast. Absolutely, guys. So we shall see what happens with all this. I think Anons need to dig deep into this Netflix deal and how much they are getting paid and what their kickbacks are. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the intro to this video. It came out yesterday from the rally in New Mexico. I found that to be very telling. He's putting it out there like it is. There are things going on behind the scenes, so don't think nothing's taking place. We're still waiting for the boards to come up. We're also waiting for 17 to post again. Don't think that this is over. It is far from over, and the best is yet to come. Tonight, I will be doing a live stream, a live call-in show, so be ready and be prepared for that. Have your popcorn ready as usual. From 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will send out a notification at around 8 o'clock, or actually around 7 p.m. tonight. It'll be ready to go. So I hope you'll be there. I hope you'll come and hang out, and we can discuss some very important matters. Guys, if you found this important and you found it very intriguing, would you please go ahead and subscribe to my channel? You can follow me on Twitter at TRUreporting. Don't forget to leave a like. You can donate to this channel and keep it afloat by going to my PayPal, my Patreon, the P.O. Box, and we have True Reporting merch. All of the links are in the description box below. Guys, be kind and loving to one another, and I will talk to you tonight at 8 p.m. Have a great day. Bye-bye.